You know, I have a really active imagination. I have to say, there are a lot of instances in which I'm amazed at what my brain comes up with, just stupidly imaginative. For instance, if you're ever on the highway and you see the big signs that are up, the giant metal truss and just giant metal highway signs on there, and sometimes they're covered. You can tell they've tried to cover them with some sort of black plastic or black cloth or something, and it's up there so long and the wind gets to it, and so it's only like a partially covered highway sign. Sometimes there's only like strips of black plastic, like if you could see those right there, there's actually, or that one there. A couple different examples of something like that. So if you've seen these, it probably to you just looks like a highway sign covered in plastic. I can't help, sometimes when I'm driving at nighttime, I'll be focused on the road, but the other part of my brain, the imaginative part, likes to wander and think of things. And so sometimes it sees the highway sign, and it sees the black shred missing in the middle of the sign, and it's up against the black sky. And so at first glance, it doesn't necessarily look like something that's been covered up. It almost looks like there's a chunk missing. And so in my brain, I think of, just imagine if like Godzilla had come through here and just torn just a giant chunk out of the sign. And it's something like right out of a movie, something really kind of fun and interesting and action-packed. And that's what I can't help but think every time I see it, At one point many years ago, it just kind of popped into my head and it stuck. Maybe it'll stick for you too. So maybe you'll be out there driving at nighttime and there'll be that one sign that's not quite ready to be used yet. And it's partially covered up and just like slashed a big chunk out of. These are the things that come across my mind. And welcome back for yet another episode of Rich Does a Thing. As it has been, things are continue to change, to evolve a little bit. Look at this. Look at this magnificent beard we've got going on. This big, giant thing that now I can like run my hands through it. It's like an inch and a half long. Well, it sits at like an inch and a half. If you take the pieces and you stretch them out a little bit, it's like 2 inches of beard that has now grown out of my face and given me a kind of a drastically different look. It's something. It's bask in the glory that is. There's like some red and some gray and some brown. Yeah. So yeah. Now I've got that fun new look to play around with. It kind of it makes me look unsophisticated and unrefined. It kind of makes me look like one half mountain man and one half Viking and like one half like lumberjack, which would that's actually 3 halves. Doesn't make any sense. I've also never really vibed with the whole like lumberjack mountain man look. That's never really been a thing. Did I just say unrefined? Yeah, I mean, there was nothing wrong with the way I had it. And I'm not going to say that I'll never grow it out further than this that I've got right now. But, I have to say this feels a lot more like me. I think it looks a lot more like me. I think it's a little sharper. I don't know. That's just me. Well, that was certainly a thing I tried. Or at very least, a thing that I did. Okay, it's time to delve deep into the bag once again of wonderful stories about our local hero, Florida Man. Now, normally we actually would have some of our Patreon subscribers here, because, as you well might know, one of the categories of Patreon followers for Rich Does a Thing is called the Connoisseur of the Strange. Now, if you are a connoisseur of the strange, or if you are a VIP level awesome for science, then you actually qualify to participate in some of these Rich Does a Thing segments. So we had it set up where we were going to be able to have those people here for Florida Man. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, so it's you and me this time. But if you go to patreon.com, and if you subscribe, if you become a patron for Rich Does a Thing, at least to the point of becoming a patron of the strange, or sorry, a connoisseur of the strange, then you too can join me for wonderful things like this. On to Florida Man. We've got 2 stories for you this time. Okay, first one. Alligator moves into Florida man's home. I wonder what kind of a lease you have to sign for something like that. A Tampa, Florida man found a huge alligator hanging out on the doorstep of his house. The 8-foot 9-inch gator, which was missing 2 limbs, was camped out and refusing to leave despite their best efforts. Florida man then had to call alligator trappers, who came in to remove the gator. It was said that it was not too happy to be evicted, the gator, not the Florida man, from his comfortable shady spot, and smashed everything in sight upon exiting. Which, again, could apply to the gator or the Florida man, I suppose. While the gator remained, Florida man even put a sign on the garage saying, I think we actually have an image for that. Yes, there it is. Yep, delivery, stop. Leave packages here, alligator at front door. Seriously. That's kind of great. According to the removal service, the alligator was likely missing its 2 limbs from getting in a fight with another alligator, although that didn't stop this feisty animal from getting comfy at what it hoped might be its new home. I think I heard we have a picture of the gator itself as well. Yes, there it is. Oh, look at that. There's a wonderful little welcome sign, and a great little... What is... Hold on. I haven't seen it. What is this orange stuff? Let's zoom in. Is that like a scrap dog? Like a couple of orange scrap dogs or something like that in the corner. Maybe the gator thought that was going to be its new friends or something. But it's a nice kind of, fancy red, white, and blue and everything. And there it is. Gator with at least no front arm. I don't know what the other limb is missing, but there it is, hanging out. And it's just, you come home. Imagine coming home and having that just waiting for you. I'd be really curious as to, I don't think it would be able to run as fast, so, I mean, but still, it would still be terrifying. That's an absolute Florida man thing to have happen. So there's the first one. All right, let's check out the second one. Second one, Citrus County driver accidentally reverses onto 2 parked cars. Wow. In Hernando, Florida, a video shows Florida man accidentally backing... Video shows. That's the best part of this, I hope. A Florida man reversed out of the SunTrust drive-through. Reversing out of a bank drive-through. There's your first problem. Ran over a curb on a county road 486. They then say he cut the wheel and continued reversing around the curve and through the intersection until he hopped the curb back onto the SunTrust parking lot and along Forest Ridge Boulevard. They go back out and through the intersection and back to the bank. Okay, that's when the driver reversed onto 2 parked cars. How even? How does physics let you just back up onto other cars? Deputies say they are still investigating what caused the accident. I think what caused the accident is Florida man. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Do we have a picture of that as well? Whoa. Oh. 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 That's... That's like the oh my, I was gonna say like a hat, but it's like a hat shared between two cars, and they and that's right, and they say there is video. Oh man, all right, I think we need to see this video. Let's check this out. Okay, so we are driving along. Oh, this person's about to make a left turn. At first, I was thinking this is like dash cam from Florida Man, but I forgot this is not a video. Oh, there goes. Oh. Ooh, yeah, the guy's stopping like, what are you even doing? It is amazing that nobody else is driving and gone. Oh! I think you could see that little bump, the little boop. Okay. That's great because that's going right where... Okay, so the person who's taking the video is about to take a left turn. Oh, you can see it already. Oh, you can see it already right on top of the cars there. But I think... Turn green, turn green, turn green, turn green, turn green, turn green, turn green. Turn green. Yes. Okay, there we go. Green light. Go through. And... Oh. Yep. I don't even think they got out of the car. I think they're just... Yep. What do you think at that point? What do you think as you're going through the road, the intersection? What's going through your mind when you're like, well, there's a part of me that hopes that their brakes weren't working, because if your brakes are working, at what point do you just decide not to? Yeah. Once you've done that, yeah, you're now sitting on top of two other cars. I mean, if I was dumb enough to have gone through all that. Again, where I'm assuming stupidity because it's Florida Man. There could have been malfunctions. There could have been technical pieces of machinery that weren't working properly. But I'm not as willing to give the benefit of the doubt for Florida Man here. At that point, I just get, you get out of the car and you just leave the keys in the car and just take your phone and your bag or whatever, and you walk away. You just pretend like nothing ever happened. I wish I kind of knew the story to that, but at the same time, it's kind of fun not. So, yeah, there you have it. The latest saga in the wonders that is Florida Man. And they say, if you listen closely, you can still hear Florida Man's call.
Hey, man, you ever try the cha-cha slide while driving? Here we go. Turn it out. Gas pedal 1 time. Gas pedal 2 times. Bring it back now, y'all.
So yes, join me on Patreon, and you too can join me for wonders and things like that. As a reminder, we currently have 4 different tiers of a Patreon follower that you can be. The first one, called Hey Thanks, just kind of gets you the monthly letter that I send out to everybody. Second tier being a patron to a thing, which is only $1 more. You get early access to some photos and videos to different things that are going to be happening in the show. You get that monthly letter that I send out to everybody, as well as the Patreon chat community. Of course, the Connoisseur of the Strange. That's the one that actually gives you voting power for future content in the show. You get to join in as live audience for segments such as what we would have done for this here for Florida Man. I'll follow a social media account of yours. You get a first look at the photos and videos. You get the monthly letter in the Patreon chat community. And last but certainly not least, the biggest, baddest, bestest tier for Rich Does a Thing Patreon is being a VIP level awesome for science. And that would be, you get an in-show shout-out. You get a personal thank you after, personal thank you video sent to you after 6 months of being a subscriber there. Voting power for future segments. I'll follow one of your social media accounts, monthly letter. You get to be part of the live audience. You get the first look at some of the photos and the videos and the things like that that's happening. You get to be a part of the Patreon chat community, and my undying gratitude. So yeah, take a look at that and be part of it if you want to and if you can. All right, back to the show. Finally, there's a little thing that I got for my buddy Chris for a holiday. I think it was a Christmas thing. It was one of those things we ended up getting to him late. It seemed like something might have been right up his alley, but at the same time I saw it and I thought it would be fun. So I got him one, and I also got myself one. And it's a unique little thing. And so I figured I would maybe share it with you guys and see what kind of trouble we can get into. I haven't assembled it yet. There's pieces, there's sheet metally things, and there's a wire or cable, and this thing right here. Haha! Now it should maybe start to take shape. I got a little tiny crossbow, little mini crossbow thing, and it's a nice solid metal too, and so I got that, and it fires toothpicks. Yeah. So a great many different ways we could get in trouble. There's another cable, I think, in case the first one breaks. So what do you say we get this thing put together, huh? I think it had instructions. It does not have instructions now, but I put the other one together for Chris because I didn't want it to be like, here's your present, some assembly required. I'm sure he would have done fine with it, but is that an extra or is that... Oh, that's a double. That's more. I want more. I want more strength on this thing. Okay. I want to get into more trouble than I probably should. Oh, that's the aiming spot. Gotcha. I feel like maybe I installed his upside down. Chris, if you're watching this, check out your crossbows. See if I screwed it up. There's 4 little screws. It's actually handy. It does come with a little tiny screwdriver. I mean, I've got a set of tiny screwdrivers because I do so many weird and interesting things that it makes sense, but I can never really find a good mini screwdriver set during the regular seasons. Really, you can only find them during like a Christmas season. It has to be in the don't know what to get for your dad section. It's the here's something random that you might not have in his toolbox yet. He probably doesn't have a use for it, but it's also a tool that he probably doesn't have, so... Don't drop? No. I mean, it's a working screwdriver, but it's not the best screwdriver. It's not magnetic or nothing. That's annoying. Ha, finally got one started. I feel like this is way harder assembly than the the actual reality goggles that we had put together in a previous episode. But even though this is harder, I think we can get into way more trouble with this than we can with the cardboard actual reality goggles. The key apparently is to start the screw by hand and then switch to the screwdriver to kind of finish it. Crap. Found you jerk. Oh, teeny screws. Teensy. Itsy screw. That falls in the carpet, man. You feel like your life is over. Kind of got lucky finding it that time. I hope I don't drop it again. God damn it. That's fine. Dropping it 3 times is fine. Everything's great. Haha. Alright, we got the thing. We got the boing. We get the boing going. So then that goes around to there. Alright. Now we got the other part. I think we should be able to. Oh yeah. Locked and loaded. Then the little trigger. Ha! Little trigger at the bottom, and then it. Oh yeah. This part is the nose picker. I think it's no, that's right. This is the stand. Of course, it's also got like plastic on the middle. This is help keep things nice looking. Value screwdriver crossbow. We'll have a nice, pretty stand. Ooh, it actually does. Shines nicely. Very nice. That will never be pretty again. Yeah, and you give it that. And then, ta-da. You can display your crossbow in all its glory. Does it work? Like little spears. They're blunt on one side, and then the other side they're pokey. Lock that in place. Take the, now that I'm thinking about it, I built his, right through that little hole that thankfully I didn't block. Right in the back there. And holds it in place. And then you see what trouble you can get into. Like this bottle of liquid, of not soda liquid. Will I need a towel? No, because it didn't even come out of the...
This is what you were made for.
Alright, try it again. Try it again. Oh. Okay, luckily it didn't actually scratch. Alright, it didn't actually puncture the bottle. It just bounced off there. But it's a rather impressive... Oh, that wasn't impressive at all. That was dumb.
Don't be dumb, be a dude.
Dude's gonna be dumb. Dude's gonna really be dumb. Come on, do the thing. Do the thing. Just not in my hand. Apparently firing is a sometimes thing. You know, I wasn't exactly like believing all of the ads, but this thing, when it had ads, that first one flew so well. When it had ads, it had these like sticking into things, like a can of soda, or I mean an apple. I get it. An apple has skin that would pierce fairly easily. I feel like there's a little thing on the top that's keeping it straight. There's like a little metal thingy-do, and I feel like that's dragging on the wood and not letting it actually fire. Ooh, okay. I feel like not putting it all the way into the back, letting it hang out kind of near the front, has helped it so that it will actually fire properly, and it's gone. It flew back behind the camera. Alright, well, I think we need to see how much trouble we can get in with this. Alright? Alright? So. Alright, it's time to see what kind of trouble we can actually get into with this thing. Now, I've actually done a little bit of fidgeting and tinkering with the crossbow, and I've learned a couple of things. First thing that I did is I actually modified the front spring. There's a word for it, but I know nothing about crossbows, so I don't know what the name is. The thing that's actually has all the stored energy. It came with two different pieces. There was a single sheet, and then there was a double sheet where there was like two of them affixed together. I put on the double because I wanted it to have more power, and even that seemed kind of eh. So what I did is I took the screws apart, and I now put all three of them on there, so there's even more power, which so far has been pretty noticeable. The second thing that I've noticed about that is when you go to these toothpicks, it definitely seems like there's a little metal part that guides it, and you want it just barely back behind there. I've tried other things. I've tried like shaving the toothpicks down so that maybe they didn't get as much friction, which would allow you to put them all the way back into it. Even that's causing a little trouble there. But even then it still was jamming. It still wasn't really coming out. However, if you take it and you just barely put it under that guide, I tend to get a lot higher fire ratio. So again, as I said, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. I asked a few people online. I put it out to you on the Facebook to see what in the world would you do if you had a little miniature crossbow, and I got some really interesting ideas. Some things I just had myself. I've got some balloons because let's balloons. Of course, we have plenty of our toothpicks for ammunition. We still have that water bottle that we tried. It failed before. I expect it to fail again, but who knows. In the video, the promotional video for this thing, they had soda cans, so I have a little mini can of the ginger ale. I think something else that was also in the video was an apple, which again seems like a really reasonable thing for it to stick in. And it turns out Jessie was able to find, she happened to have some of these foam sheets. They are about 1/16 of an inch thick, and you may or may not be able to see a couple little puncture marks because I've already had luck with it, but maybe that'll make a good target. So let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. Gonna have like the coolest house parties after this. I'm just gonna be able to make all like the hors d'oeuvres or whatever and just kind of hold them up and then just pew and just stick right in it. All right, so we got our bow cocked back. It's got some serious thwap to it. Toothpick just barely under there. We got plenty of wiggle room. Okay. This can't, nothing can possibly go bad from here. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's see, from, what, like a foot away? Ooh. That just thwacked right off. Okay. Which is good. This is a full can of soda. This is not something we legitimately want to puncture. What about from like 3 or 4 inches away? Will that make any sort of a difference? Will we be able to... Success? Yeah, we did a thing. I know what the drinking is. This is okay. This is how you shotgun things now, I guess. All right. Well, that went well. That went excitedly well. Now we've rinsed off the crossbow because it was just absolutely soaked in ginger ale. All right. So trying the bottle of water, which should be a lot less. Oh, that just ricocheted and went clear across the room. All right. Let's, that clearly didn't do what we wanted it to. Well, I guess. I suppose not having a result is a result. That is science. Okay, let's try it again from our 3 or 4 inches away. We were pretty successful with the can. Okay, a good reminder to be wearing some sort of eye protection. I am wearing glasses. If I was wearing my contacts, I would absolutely be putting on some safety goggles right now. Oh, man. Oh, okay, that was a clear shot right off the front. Just bounced off. So the bottle is no. I think we had the apple. Yeah. We had the apple. This one, man, if you could pierce an aluminum can, an apple should absolutely not be a problem, even from a distance. What if we... Yeah! Right there in the side. How deep did that go? It was pretty good. There's a pretty good little stab of the apple. Again, if you're making some sort of crazy party hors d'oeuvres that involves ballistics and stabbing, because that's the kind of party you throw. What if we close it back up to like the 3 or 4 inches? Does it go deeper? Oh yeah, I think so. I don't know. I probably should have measured, but we're not exactly being 1000% scientific with this one. Okay, so apple is a success. Okay, good. All right, what about these foam sheets here? What if we shot the foam sheet? Yep, that sticks pretty darn well. Again, we've gone fairly deep. See, that would make a good target right there. Now you kind of got to wonder, how accurate could you be with this thing? Like if you were trying to aim as best you could. Wow. Would you look at that? Well, that is absolutely amazing. If you look at that, just absolutely perfect aim on that. Just, you could not get any better aim with that shooting right there. All right, we tell nobody that we drew that on afterwards. That is not a thing that anybody needs to know. All right, if we legitimately draw a target on here, I suppose without some sort of a sight, which this thing doesn't really have, there's no way to really decide how much of this would be the accuracy of the crossbow and how much of this would be me being either a good or poor marksman. Okay. Ah! All right, what if we try targets from further away? All right, we've tried the destructive targets. We've tried like the aluminum can and the plastic bottle and the apple and the foam targets and stuff. And some of the smaller, shorter range targets. Now let's try some of the bigger targets, like these balloons here. And maybe I'm going to try to line them up and see like how many balloons will pop as the toothpick tries to go through them all in a line. I actually had the capacity of doing like a helium balloon thing, but we just filled these with regular air because it seemed it would be a whole lot of extra work to have to string them, tie them off, find things to tie them to, put them in a line. They still might sway a little. It just seems like way more of a problem than it really needed to be.
Which honestly is fine, because it would have been a lot of trouble to have to go through all that. So there's just no need. It would just be more of a problem than anything. So let's just keep it simple, you know? Let's just keep it simple. It just seems like the best way to go.
Wow, static is really playing a big part in this. Every time I move, it's causing problems. I think that's about as good as we're going to get for getting them aligned. From like 6 inches away. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. That's it? Wow. I was expecting way more. That was a single pop. Lined up 6, got 1. Wish I had like a fancy high-speed camera so you could see just exactly what's happening with it after it hits that first balloon, but apparently I'm not expecting to get 3, but I'll have it there just in case. 3, 2, 1. All right, I got 2 that time. But they're definitely ricocheting back with each shot. So we can only get like 2 or 3 of them actually popped. What about distance? Can I do a distance shot? Oh, we hit it. We hit it, but it didn't pop. Yeah, definitely once you get past a couple feet, you no longer have aiming potential with the crossbow. Apparently, if you're only a couple feet away and you're not trying that hard, you miss it too. Oh, there's that. I know the balloons, they feel indestructible at this point. We were popping them good. We were popping like 2 or 3 at a time from point blank. Maybe that's the trouble, is if you're not right up next to it, it's harder to pop them. Can we get them both from like point blank? Yeah. All right, well, clearly we found something that is fun. It is not like a miracle weapon. This is not something you're going to keep in your back pocket for personal protection while in the streets protesting or anything like that. But it's fun, it's novel. It can, in fact, pierce a soda can. It'll pop balloons. It doesn't have very much range, and it's not a ton of power. I mean, you could probably try to kill tiny vampires with it, but you would probably just annoy them more than anything. So, no guarantees you can even shoot an apple. No guarantees indeed. However, I can guarantee that I have enjoyed having you here for this episode of Rich Does a Thing. Check us out next time. Of course, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Check us out on the Facebook group. Look for Rich Does a Thing there. We've got Rich Does a Thing on Twitter, on Tumblr, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on everything. Please check out the Rich Does a Thing Patreon. And remember, I adore you all. Keep yourself safe. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you next time. Bye.